everyone. Happy Ruby Tuesday. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. It's Meredith and I am here with a fun design team project share for Heather at Ruby and Pearl. And I have been having so much fun making some little accordion style journals, very similar to what Heather created on her channel. She did a 3-part series on making some darling accordion style journals with documents. And I do not have enough old documents, like actual documents, to create this style, but I thought, well, she has these amazing vintage fancy ledgers in her Etsy shop, and they are perfect, and I've used them so many times. I love them so much. So anyway, I have one fully completed. My blue one is in progress, and then I have 2 others. I have a neutral and kind of a green and yellow version that I'm doing. So they're super fun, and I will show you how I created the base. And this will probably be a 2-part series at least, but I want to give you a flip through of the pink one, which is finished for the most part. And I can give you a little sneak peek of the blue one and how that's working out. And then I will show you how I put together my accordion journal. Okay, so accordion journals are super easy to make, and I will just go ahead and show you my little base that I've created. And basically you're going to just glue panels of paper together, and there are so many videos out there. I know Meg Journals has a ton of no-sew style accordion journals that she puts together. She does a very collage type version. This is a little bit more straightforward in that you are basically taking either a printable or some other kind of paper. You could use book pages. If you have authentic documents, it would be absolutely gorgeous, and the paper would be probably thicker and a little more sturdy. I printed all of my base accordions in on the linen paper, and it's perfect. If you decided to use more of just a 24-pound copy paper, you could print them on single side and then glue them together if you wanted them to be a little bit heftier. So that's a personal preference. I chose to just go with the linen because I knew I was going to be decorating and gluing on and adding things into the journal to, you know, kind of chunk it up. So basically it is about 6 panels. So I have my first panel here, panel 2, 3, 4, and 5, I guess. So as you close it back up, then you've got your front cover page, and then you have a full, like a center spread. And so that's page 1 and 2. You've got 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. And then this flap here is going to be your back cover. And then we would, so that would be the back. So then we would back open up, and then you've got 1 and 2, again, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then back to the front. So I will show you just a quickie at the end on how I just glued them together and folded it. It's super simple, and I hope you'll stick around for that. Otherwise, please let me know in the comments if you have ever made an accordion style journal, and if you like that way of creating. I love it because they come together so quickly, and then decorating is super fun and literally no limit to what you can put together. So this is my little rosy pink. I chose to just clip on this darling girl. She's one of my favorites. This is from the Vintage Romance collection, and this is reduced down just a little bit. Actually, this might have been part of the collage page. So anyway, I just glued her onto some coffee dyed watercolor paper, and so it's a nice little journal card and some little fun glitzy glitz on there. And then I covered the front page with some vintage lace. I think this is the last of the piece that I have from my bundle from Lovely Lottie's, and a little bit of velvet, super pretty. And I left this just the actual page. I didn't make a hard cover for the front part because I knew I was going to be attaching this kind of as a topper, and she could totally be glued down, used as a little pocket, whatever. So that just goes on there. And then as I flip open for my first spread, I have a little card that I just attached, little dangle there. And I just clipped it on so it wouldn't fly around. And then this gorgeous image is from La Flora. So pretty. Absolutely love it. And then as we flip to the next section, I glued on these gorgeous people and a little bit of Heather's French Snippets page, or I think I can't remember what they're called. I'll write that in the description box. And this paper, these are both from the Paris kit, as is this. And I tucked in some goodies here, just a little bit. This is a little offcut, double printed, also from the Paris kit, I believe. And I have that double printed. And then I think this is from the L'Artiste kit, Les Artistes. And I just have these little extra pieces, so I popped them in here. I thought they were so pretty. And then opening up, we have a next spread, and this is also from the La Flora kit, and this is from the Ballet collage papers, and this is one of the little snippets. And here we have another beautiful couple from the Paris kit. I guess this is another romantic theme journal. I seem to be on that wavelength right now, but anyway, I just thought they look so pretty, and kind of the last of that gorgeous piece that I have from the front. And then here we have a beautiful image. This is one of the wallpapers. I'll list the number below, and then I double printed over the top with one of the vintage script pages. This is one of the Paris postcards. I think this is my favorite of all of the Paris postcards, kit 1. And I just love this. It's so absolutely gorgeous. So this is backed with file folder, and then this is the back cover. So this is definitely more sturdy than the front, and you could totally add something a little heftier on the front. And then this was one of the collage pieces from the Ballet, and I just popped it on there. This could be taken off and used as a bookmark if you like. But I just thought she was so gorgeous. And then opening up, so this is our back section. And so pretty. This was part of the collage, and I backed it with some paper from Camille. This is also from Camille. And I think this is from the Paris kit. Can't remember. I'll write it down. One of the gorgeous ladies in the Vintage Ladies photograph collection. Pretty sure this is from Camille. And here's another double printed image. This is the Paris Vente kit, and then this is one of the wallpapers. And then here I just have a double pocket, popped in one of my tags, and this gorgeous little postcard, and I just backed it with some extra paper and some book page, and actually more could be tucked in there. And then there we are back at the front cover. So it's just as easy as that, and honestly, she could get a lot more chunky. I have not wrapped it with anything, but you could obviously wrap it up with sari or twine, whatever you have on hand, and I may attach another little goodie right there as well. So that is the pink one. So we will set her aside, and I'll just give you a little sneak peek of the blue. So same as this one, I did not attach anything hard to the front, although I'm kind of thinking I might glue this down and then have this be removable. And I'm thinking I've got this gorgeous blue velvet that I think would just be stunning on here. So this is kind of a little bit WIP. Still a bit of a work in progress, but I wanted to show it to you because it's so pretty. So then opening up, I've got some gorgeous paper from the Les Artistes. Or no, this is from the Mademoiselle kit. And I will probably attach, I'm either going to put one down here on the bottom like the front dangle and the pink one, or I'll do another one on the top because I just think it looks so cool. Heather did that and I totally copied her. And then here I'm going to pop this on here. These gorgeous ladies are, this is from the Milady kit, I believe. It's either the Madam or the Milady kit. This is one of my favorites. This is probably going to be a pocket. And then this is from the Lady in Blue. Super pretty, just did a little collage here. And then this is just clipped on. It's a nice little secret journaling card that goes there. And then as we flip out, I'm going to attach her, I believe, as a little pocket here. I may just have her clipped on with a little bow at the bottom. And then this is my back cover, and used another image from the Paris postcards. And flip over. This is a gorgeous image from Mademoiselle. And I will finish that off a little bit more with probably, like I did this, with another little dangly. And then on the inside here, this is mostly finished. Another little embossed tag here. And then this is fun. I made a little flip out. So I attached this with a brad, and then this flips open. And I've got one of Heather's fun folded little pockets that she made. I'll link that video below too because it's so fun to make these. And then I added some gorgeous lace from Emily at Blue Linen Cottage. And I'll attach that back later. And then opening here, I think I'm going to put her on this page. So gorgeous. And this is from the Milady kit or the Madam kit. I'll look to make sure. And I reduced it 2 to a page, so half down. Oops. And then I'm thinking of putting this here and making a little pocket like so. And then we flip back to the front. So that is the blue one. And then, like I said, I have a neutral one in the works that I'll be making with mainly the, my brain just shut off. Well, Heather's latest neutral kit. I can't think of it at the moment, but I will pop that in the description box below as well. And then I have a beautiful sort of green themed one that will have little bits of yellow in them. So if you are interested in acquiring one of these, please send me an email. It's listed in the description box, or you can always message me on Instagram, and I will have them available probably by the weekend for sure. And I hope you've enjoyed this, and let me show you quickly how I put together the base so you can see that process. Okay, so I've got 5 sheets, and they're already torn because these are just offcuts from my first books that I made. And the top piece and kind of the back piece are a little smaller than the middle pieces, but you can do them all the same size if you like. So really straightforward. I'm going to just fold my first one in half, and you can decide if you want, you know, to go this way, whatever. And that is going to get glued to the second piece. Now this one's pretty tall, so I'm gonna actually fold that down and tear off a little bit. Sorry, had to grab my ruler. Although, also, by the way, the neutral kit I was talking about is called Faded Roses, and that's one of Heather's recent ones. All right, so this is similar in size, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some glue on the back of the top piece, and you can use whatever kind of glue you want. I'm just going with the Fabri-Tac because that's what I have, and we are just going to glue that down. And you don't really have to worry about whether your edges are, you know, perfectly aligned. This is not a measure and precise type of project. So it is definitely a go along however you like. So now we are going to do the same thing on the back of this one. And glue it down. And you can decide if you want it to be, you know, taller at the top and the bottom. I'm just kind of going somewhat in the center. But that is entirely up to you. And you can decide if you want to just make a tiny book. You could do these for a fun Happy Mail. If you want to make them bigger, you know, you just keep adding pages. The sky is the limit, which is what is so fun about making these, because there are no rules, which is great. That is my kind of creating. I don't like following the rules. Never have. Okay, so now we're on to our last one. And just a little glue here. And like I mentioned earlier, I will link all of Heather's tutorials, because they are great and it's so fun to watch her make her creations. So inspiring. So grateful to be able to create with all of her beautiful papers and images. Okay, so now that we have our pieces together, we're going to come back, and we've got our first one is folded over, and obviously if you want to match it up this way you can, but I kind of like it to be not fully overlapping. So this next fold, excuse me, we're going to do a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and fold like so. I don't want it exactly on the seam because that just makes it a little harder. And then we're going to do the same thing, sorry, on this side. So I need some more glue there. It is very obvious that I did not get enough glue on here. Sorry if I just went off camera. And this one, we are gonna actually okay. So here, fold it a little bit on the offside. And if you like if you like the heights to be even, that is totally cool. I kind of like it offset, like I mentioned. I just think it's a little more interesting that way. And then for the rest of the folds, we are going to pretty much line up mostly even. So you're just basically going back and forth and folding, and you can either match them up or you can alter them. And honestly, each time I've made these, they come out a little bit differently. So now here we have a small piece for our back flap. So this is what you're going to attach your back cover to. It's hard to tell on mine because I sandwiched it in between here. So this is going to be like so that when you flip over, then your cover is here. Does that make sense? So this is the front. So let's do a little side by side, just if I can keep everything in. Maybe I'll do it this way. So here we have the front, and then we have page 1 and page 2, page 3, and then our back cover. And then we flip, and it's page 1, 2, 3, and we're back to the front. Just like so. Okay, I think we're going to call it good for the day. I hope you are having a great start to your week, and I'd love to hear what you think in the comments and what you are creating. And have a fabulous rest of your week, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks a bunch, guys. Bye.